Hey, come on in. It's fun to see all your names pop in there. Let me know in the chat box where you're coming from so I can say hello to you. Taryn, good to see you. I think I saw Sherry. Minnesota. Get my Wi-Fi off. It's better. I'm heading to Minnesota. I'm speaking at the Minnesota Catholic Homeschoolers Conference in June next year. Charlotte, North Carolina. Awesome. From New Mexico. From Corpus Christi, Texas. Awesome. Lots from Tennessee today. Hey, Danielle. And Alyssa. Cool. Tiffany from Georgia. But it's warmer where you are than where I am today. You're in Minnesota. You should go. Yes. I think we have a link up at amongstlovelythings.com/speaking. I'm pretty sure we put a link there. Yes, the Minnesota Catholic Home Educators Conference. It's in, I should know this. I don't know it off the top of my head. But yeah, I'll be there in June. This said quick. I know. The audacity of me to put quick in my title. Right? It has to be quick because my toddlers are all downstairs. But my, oh, awesome. My kids, we just got home from co-op and the babies all fell asleep on the way home. And so now they're actually kind of chill down there. So they said I could come up here and, oh, good. You're going to be at Wild and Free. Was that you, Alicia? I missed the name. Was that Alicia? Because I'm really excited. Yes, I'll be in, if you are anywhere near Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia, I'll be speaking there next month at the Wild and Free Conference on November 14th, I think it is. So, oh, Gail, hello, good to see you. You know what? Well, I'll tell you that later. Gail Ledbetter here. She's the author of Timeline of Classics, which is published by Institute for Excellence in Writing, and I got to meet her last week. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. Oh, Alyssa, you'll be there. You'll be there at Wild and Free. Very cool. I'm so excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. You're 30 minutes from Williamsburg. Yeah. I should have that URL. If you head to my website, amongstlovelythings.com/speaking, there's a link there to the Wild and Free Conference if you're not already registered. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. I put quick in the scope title, which was rather audacious for me because I'm not very good at making these quick, but I have to be quick since my kids are downstairs, so we're going to try to make this quick anyway. So the first thing I want to say is the other day, thank you, Alicia, that was you, I knew it was you. Alicia, thank you, bewildandfree.org. Yeah, if you're anywhere near Williamsburg, I would love to meet you, so head to bewildandfree.org and see. You just ordered 27 of my books, Joanne. That's crazy. You are awesome. Okay, speaking of my book, if you were not here the other day when I announced that we'll be doing a a book club for Teaching from Rest, A Homeschooler's Guide to Unshakable Peace. I should have one of my books out, and I don't. The handy part about sitting right in front of your bookshelf. We're doing a book club. We're starting November 2nd, so you want to grab it now. If you head to... I should have the coupon code handy, and I don't. If you head to sarahmckenzie.tv, you can click on the button that says, you know, we're doing a live online book club, and it will tell you where you can get a coupon code. It's only good through Monday, October, what is that, 26th. So you'll get 20% off. So head to sarahmckenzie.tv and click on the button that says we're doing an online book club, and then you'll be able to find the code, because I don't know. I think it's TFR Club 20. That's what it is. But it's at classicalacademicpress.com is where you'd buy it. So anyway, we're doing a book club, but I forgot to tell you something. I told you we're going to meet every Monday evening in November, and we're going to use the book. There's also an audio companion that goes with it, where I interviewed Andrew Kern and Dr. Perrin and Cindy Rollins and Brandy Venzel. But there's also something else you get when you get that companion. You get, it's a download. It's a PDF download, and it's a companion journal. And I printed mine out, and I meant to show it to you the other day, and I forgot, so I want to show it to you real quick. It's a PDF download that you'll get when you get the companion journal, and when you get the companion. The companion includes the audio, which is 4 hours of audio, plus this PDF. And I just printed it off on my computer. I printed mine off on cardstock, and then took it to my Staples and just had them put this binding on it for, I think, and this cover, I think it costs like $2.50 or something to do that. Good, I'm glad you like the companion journal. So it's really pretty. The designers at Classical Academic Press did a really lovely job with it. Okay, no, is this different than the first companion? No, the companion did not change. We changed the order because we had reorganized the chapters in the book. we changed the order of the companion questions. I think I added 2 or 3 questions to it, but if you already have the first companion, you don't need the second one. But if you haven't gotten it yet, then you might want it. It'll help you kind of work through the book. There's some really beautiful art in here. The designers at Classical Academic Press really did some beautiful things with some of the quotes from the book. Let me show you another one of those. I'm actually going to be printing these out and putting them in frames, and I'll show you because I have a frame for it that I'm really excited about. So they did some really beautiful work with a few of the quotes. And inside the journal, I'll show you one more art and then I'll show you the rest of it. We have a lot of book clubs using this, book groups, like study groups using this, because there are questions that would serve really well for discussion questions if you're meeting as a group, and we'll use them probably in our online book club. And there's a place for you to journal out your own answers. And then there's also pages in here that we call commonplace. Some of you know that I'm a big commonplacer. I have a commonplace book, which is basically a place for me to collect my favorite quotes from books I've read, and my own responses sometimes to those. And so we took that idea and we put it in this companion journal, so it's just basically like a blank page that's really pretty for you to copy out any quotes or any selections that you want to remember later, or your own response to those. And we picked a couple of quotes to put in there too. So anyway, I don't know how many pages it is. I think it's 20-something pages. Oh, they're not numbered, so I couldn't tell you. It's probably about 20-something pages, and yeah, it's a combination of the really pretty art, the commonplace pages. Some of my photography is in here as well, and study questions. So I just wanted to show you that. So if you wanted to grab it, print it out, and you could always just stick it in a binder, or you could get it bound. That's an idea, and I meant to show it to you before. So again, Mondays in November, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to sarahmckenzie.tv to get more details on that. Really looking forward to it. But today I wanted to answer Ann Boyd's question. Ann is a member of our Read-Aloud Revival community. I love Ann. And she sent a question because in one of the Periscope series I did, or the only Periscope series I've done, How We Homeschool, I mentioned a few times that we have a math tutor. And so she said, okay, you've got to tell me more about that. Why did you decide to use a math tutor, and how does that work? What does he do? How often does he come? So I was just going to answer that question for you in case some of you had that question as well. So this is the first year we've ever had a math tutor. Actually, in the chat, I would love to know, do any of you have a math tutor teaching your kids? Tell me in the chat box if you do, because I'd be really curious to hear that. This is the first year we've had a math tutor, and you want one, yes. It is an investment, and you have to get your husband on board, of course. And so, okay, yes, before I keep going with math, you're asked what the code is for the book club. The code to get the discount, to get 20% off on these, is TFR Club and the number 20. That'll only work at classicalacademicpress.com. Okay, you need one. Yep, really empowering. Joanna, are you talking about having a math tutor is really empowering? You probably need one. Oh, you are a math tutor. Gail, of course you're a math tutor. My goodness, you do everything, don't you? Okay, yeah. So why did I hire a math tutor? The easiest answer is that I am not very good at teaching math. And homeschooling is a refining fire. I tell you, I think it's a refining fire. I think it shines a light on all of my weaknesses. And one of the things I've discovered in the last couple of years, especially as my kids have gotten older into higher level math, which is funny, my oldest is in 8th grade, so you can laugh at that, higher level math reference. It's become more clear to me that I know enough math to teach an elementary school child, but then when they don't understand it and they need you to describe it in a different way, it was showing me really, it became very obvious that I don't actually really know math well enough to do that. I didn't learn it that well myself, as far as like really knowing it, and then the biggest thing is loving it. So one of the things I feel as a homeschooling mom is that my job is not to teach my children everything. It's the whole point of homeschooling is not so that I can teach my kids all their subjects. The whole point of homeschooling for us is because we want to develop really beautiful relationships with each other, which was not happening over math. Let me tell you. And because I want to have my children, I want that to develop in them a sense of awe for the things that they're learning. And I wasn't doing that with math. it had become something where I was trying to get through the lessons and check it off. I can teach awe and wonder and delight when it comes to Shakespeare and poetry and literature and writing. And then it got to math and I felt like all of my classical ideals went out the window. And also because I have a million other things. We're homeschooling moms. We have laundry and dinner and a million other things happening, errands and toddlers. And so for me, it became very clear that I was not doing my job. If I was going to be kind of slogging through math just because I had to teach it. Oh yeah, you and me, sister, Julie says. Hi, Julie, so good to see you. I think one of the struggles we have as homeschooling moms is we have this weird tendency to think we have to do it all ourselves or we're cheating. Where does that come from? I don't even know why we do that to ourselves. I have talked to so many homeschooling moms who feel that way, that they have to teach it themselves or outsourcing would be cheating. Which is such a ridiculous thing to think when we really say it out loud. And so I really try to remind myself that my job as a homeschooling mother is to inspire my children to wonder and delight in what they learn. And sometimes that means bringing other teachers into the fold to help them do that. So I'll tell you what, our math tutor, the first time he talked to my 8th grade daughter about math, she said, "Oh, you should see the math book that came in the mail. It's so big, it's gonna be awful, it's pre-algebra." And he said, oh, his instant reaction was, oh, pre-algebra, that's going to be fun. You know, it's all, before this, it's all just been multiply, divide, subtract, add in a million different ways. Now we get to solve puzzles. And you could see it in his eyes. He was actually excited about that. And I do not inspire that kind of delight about math in my children. And so it was really fun. That was one of the first interactions they had with him about math. And I thought that this is going to be a good fit. So we decided to go ahead and seek out a math tutor. Now, I keep getting asked, where did you find your math tutor? And we really, God saw fit to just drop him in our lap. Because what happened was I was talking with a friend. I was at a mom's night out, just at a local, you know, our little homeschool group. And my friend who has, she's the one actually, if those of you who know about my spiral notebook system, she's the one who taught me that. She was telling me about her son who's in college and how he just switched majors because he really decided he wanted to be a math teacher. And so he had kind of was figuring things out for himself in college, and he lives here locally. And he was homeschooled all the way through high school. And it just, like light fireworks started going off in my brain. Like, I have an internship for him. So I had already been thinking, I think I want a math tutor, but I don't know where to find one. But I think there's a couple good places where you can go. Definitely ask around at home, your homeschooling group or local homeschoolers, because they may have older high school students who can tutor your younger kids, or kids that are in college that can tutor your middle and high school students. And I think that's a great way to find a math tutor. Another really good way to do it is to go, if you have any local colleges or universities. We live close to a couple really good universities, and so that was going to be my strategy. I was just going to call the education and math departments and find out you know, if they had tutors who could come to my house, because I also don't want to be schlepping all my toddlers around to tutoring, so I wanted someone who could come to my house. So those are the two places that I would look first. And then Julie Bogart is from Brave Writers here, and she just was talking about parent swapping. Totally. So it is very likely that in the homeschooling community around you, there are moms who are very good at writing, who are very good at know a lot of history, or who are really good at math. And so tap into that and see if you can't swap. You know, I'll teach your children history if you'll teach my children math. Get creative, especially if money is an issue. This is the first year where we would be able to spring for tutoring. It hasn't ever been in the budget before, and it can be very expensive. So we'll talk about that too in a minute. But if you are feeling like constrained by the budget, try and get creative about how you can swap out to figure out a tutor for your children. Okay, so where to find them? I would look at a local college, university. I would ask around your homeschooling friends, especially those who have older kids, and I would find out if any of your homeschooled mom friends or even their husbands are really good at math and would be willing to do some trading, babysitting for math, that kind of thing. Or this could go for any subject, of course. Math was where I was feeling it the most. Money is tricky, and so what I would do, and this is totally going to vary depending on where you live, so I just Googled it. Like, this is going to sound so ridiculous. I just went on my local Craigslist and was looking up tutors and kind of Googling around to see what was standard amount might be. And then I started throwing some numbers at the tutor to see what would stick. And we were his first job, so we were kind of establishing that together. But if you get somebody who's already doing some math tutoring, or a college student who's doing it through the university, they probably will already have a, oh, my battery's running low. I should charge it more before I started. Plug in here. They might already have an amount that is like a normal standard amount for them. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know if I can. Oh, it's not going to stick. Okay, well, hopefully. This will make me keep it short, right? Okay, so how often does he come over? He comes to our house twice a week. We use Saxon, so you can all let out the groans now. I will groan right along with you. We use Saxon, and he comes twice a week, and the way he does it is he does an hour with each kid twice a week. So when he comes for 3 hours. You're a yay, Saxon, that's awesome. People usually say that. He comes for 3 hours on Mondays and 3 hours on Wednesdays, and he does an hour with each child. What he does is he teaches the new content, and then he goes over their problems with them. So our base, oh, I forgot, I was gonna grab the little sheet. Darn. I made a little grid. You know what we'll do is I'm going to put this up on the blog with show notes, and I will put my grid up on the blog with show notes. So if you go to sarahmckenzie.tv, sometime in the next couple days, you'll be able to grab it. I made this little sheet that we use where he can tell me what lessons he taught, how far they got, what he assigned, and then I can let him know, okay, I either corrected this, the kids reworked the problems, or he hasn't yet, so could you do that with him, that kind of thing. So we have this little grid that we use for that, and I'll put that up in the show notes because I forgot to grab it. Sorry about that. Basically, he teaches the new content and then goes over any trouble spots with them. And then my kids do math after dinner and before bed, which is probably not ideal. In fact, he just suggested to me, maybe one of your kids might need to be doing math a little bit earlier in the day when they're not so tired. But your kids love sending hearts. Good, keep sending them. I love them. They make me happy. That time of day works best for us because our babies go to bed early and the house is quiet, and my husband is around as well as me, so we are both around to answer questions, and sometimes my husband is more patient when it comes to math questions than I am because I've been teaching all day. So that is how we do it. So he basically assigns, for example, on Monday he may teach 2 new lessons and then give them their assignments, and they do those assignments as homework. Sometimes I correct those just using the solution manuals, and Dominic, that's our tutor's name, he'll go over the problems they had with them. Sometimes I don't get around to correcting it, and Dominic corrects for me. I usually like the time he has with them to be spent teaching and not correcting, so I try to do the correcting myself if I can. But I'll say, you know, it's like they get 4 or 5 questions wrong on their assignment. I just mark them wrong. I don't do anything else. I usually don't even go over them with them or anything. I just mark them, and then I let Dominic look them over and go, okay, we need to go over this concept again. And then he'll review that, touch up on anything, and then teach the next couple of lessons. When he comes on Wednesdays, oftentimes he teaches 3 lessons and gives them that much homework for the weekend. So that's how we do it. Why do we choose Saxon? I think I saw that question, or maybe I made that up. I'm not sure if I saw it or not. I saw some Saxon conversation. I really wanted to get my kids in something that was had a good, strong reputation, that was solid, that we could just really rely on. And my biggest math mistake so far has been hopping from one curriculum to another. These experienced homeschool moms who I talk to tell me consistently that if you just choose a math program, no matter what it is, and you stick with it, you probably will be in okay shape. Sometimes you have to switch because it's really not a good fit for your child, but I did so much switching in the early years that my kids, there was a lot of dropped, you know, we'd like miss a lot of things, and I wouldn't catch it and that kind of thing. So we just went with Saxon because it's got a good, strong reputation, and I put all my kids in it and let the tutor himself infuse the delight when Saxon does not do that itself. So, okay, what's a reasonable for a tutor fee? I'm not super comfortable saying on Periscope how much we pay our tutor. You could shoot me an email if you're more interested in that, but I can say that when I was looking online, it seemed like anywhere between $20 and $40 an hour seems to be pretty average, depending on whether or not the tutor is like a $25 to $40. Okay, Yeah, that's pretty much what I found too. Depending on if you've got a high school student, a college student, or a math teacher who's, you know, moonlighting as a tutor. So it kind of depends on your area. I would definitely ask around with some other homeschool moms if you know anyone else who hires a tutor. I would call your local tutoring centers and find out how much they cost, and then realize that you're getting one-on-one coming to your house, so it might vary a little bit. And then I would look on Craigslist. I did that. I looked on Craigslist in my local city to see how much other people were charging for their services. So my phone is probably going to die because I was very unprepared and did not charge it. So I better stop the scope before it just cuts out randomly on everybody. But I appreciate you guys coming. Thanks so much. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. And again, check sarahmckenzie.tv. You can grab the code to get your coupon discount code for Teaching from Rest, and also within the next 4 or 5 days we'll have you overheard a tutor, that's funny. Oh, Gail's at Panera and she can overhear a tutor, a math tutor. That's really funny. Yeah, if you check sarahmckenzie.tv over the next couple of days, I'll have the show notes up, and I will make sure that my form that I use with my tutors, so that we both stay on the same page, is up there. It's a really handy way for him to be able to tell me what he did and for me to communicate back without us taking a lot of his time when he's here talking, especially because we're usually trying to talk over the din of toddlers, which is not to be underestimated at my house. All right. You all have, oh, Gail, I loved meeting you too. I just loved meeting you. It was so much fun. And thank you. Yes, thank you, Kelly. Thanks everybody for coming, and have a wonderful afternoon.